We are live. Hey, so how's it going?
Good, thank you. The
Uh,
second take is a better take.
Absolutely. You're on location in Puerto Rico,
And you're mentally
and
there. I love it. I
I'm
love the
mentally
support.
here. I'm mentally here. Yes. Shout out to Carlos Canajena who sent me this Puerto Rico hat. I told him that I would wear it on my next video. I had no idea you would be in Puerto Rico when we would do our next video. But
Oh, was the
happy,
irony of that?
yes, look at it. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And we're
Once I
going
drink my
live.
coffee, I'll be good.
Well, we're going live early before you get your last day of vacation started. So congratulations to you and Juan. And some great things are going on. So there's some things going on in your life, and we kind of want to talk about them because you guys are, capturing the opportunity of where things are right now in Texas. And so let's start there. Let's start with where the opportunity is with real estate and where you seeing some things. And I've always been a proponent of, drinking your own Kool-Aid. If you see opportunity and you're advising people to take advantage of opportunity, you should be the first partaker. So, what are
Correct.
you guys doing right now? And what are you guys seeing as the opportunity in Texas right now?
Right. So right now we're purchasing our third property. Um, right now we own three properties using our VA. We're doing well, technically our fourth purchase, but is our first property using conventional loan, which is very exciting for us because it was, just a long route when you don't come from money or you didn't have that growing up, and then you literally paved the way to create that now. Is very, very, just that in itself is very exciting. So right now we're purchasing a townhome condo, half of a duplex in Troy, Texas, which is about 10 minutes from Temple and about 25-30 from Waco. So
Mhm.
it's a prime location. Not a lot of people know about it. It's a small town, and Facebook is developing there. Right now they're building their one of their distribution centers in Troy. So it's literally a mile from the community that I'm purchasing. The builder that I'm using is Flint Rock, and yeah, there's elementary school walking distance, middle school, high school, right? The primary things are important for families. It's a brand new property, and they allow you to use outside lenders, right? So I'm obviously using U Major. So they allow, especially Flint Rock, allow buyers to use outside lenders, which is great because not every lender can do the things that other brokerage brokers can do. So that's a great thing. So yeah, Walmart is there, Facebook is there, and honestly, it's just one of the telltale signs about finding out where to purchase, or you can kind of like follow the trace, is like where builders building, right? These are gentlemen or a big corporation who are applying their money in large amounts into these locations. They're not going to do it just willy-nilly, right? They're going to do their research. They're going to know the plans of the city and all this stuff. So I'm following the trace, if I can say that, right? I know that the south of Austin, right? Kyle and all that area, there's a lot of builders out there as well, right? So it's like low price points, to be honest. I've seen some like price points at 218, at 198, at 226. Like I've walked these properties myself. So it's just like, don't shy away from the small towns, because at the end of the day, builders are building there. They want to expand, because there's opportunity. Things are still pretty relatively cheap before they get, priced out. So there are avenues of opportunity, South Austin, outside of city limits, north, of course. And if you in Troy, you're close to Waco, which is, the next major city outside of Austin. Well, Dallas, of course, but like, in between. And a lot of people live in Waco, or a lot of people live in Temple, and they you want to be close to the hospitals, right? Baylor Scott and White, VA hospital, things of that nature. So there's a lot of opportunities. So it's just figuring out where do you want to focus on and who's going to be your audience.
Absolutely. So, and I like the Baylor area, the Waco area. I like it because, the chances of them shutting down, Baylor University is low. So,
Right.
there's always going to be a rental pool. If you're looking to buy an investment property, it's going to be a rental pool there. Amazing medical program at Baylor. So these areas where people are building, and you're talking about Facebook, large corporations moving into an area. Isn't there an area where Samsung is building also,
Yep.
or something like that? Where is that?
Yeah, that's Taylor. So that's
Okay.
if we're looking at the map, right? Austin is south. So we're talking about like southwest, no, southeast. Well, honestly, northeast. That's where Taylor is, right before the Austin and the Hutto area and things of that nature. Yes, Samsung has been developing there for quite some time, and I was actually under construction. I was on the contract. There you go, on the construction. Well, I was on the construction. It was a new build. I was under contract about, I want to say, almost a year now at this point in Taylor, for a like a duplex up and down, and I was excited about that as well. But honestly, it's just the way the builder has structured his contract. There was a clause where I will have to fill in the appraisal gap in the event that the house did not appraise, and I was using my VA loan at that time. I was intending to live in the property, so I was like, I don't want to get into that in the event that it doesn't appraise. So I backed out of that one. But yeah, that one was going for like 430, brand new
Wow.
duplex in Taylor.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow. So, and I like the way you talk. You said, okay, first of all, congratulations. You've done 3 properties using your VA home loan.
three
Okay.
properties.
I have my dog making all kind of weird sounds. Um, hey, man, this is the downside of being live. You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
so so we have you've done 3 properties using your VA home loan, okay, and now you use a conventional, not a terribly high price point, but it's something that's comfortable for you and Juan, and this is continuing to build the empire. So this is your 4th property, and you just hit. Happy birthday to you! This is your 30th birthday.
Yes.
And you're hitting 4 properties that you want to building together, doing together. So amazing job. I mean, you guys are, the prototype for how to do this, how to collect properties and everything. And you've done 4 before 30. And I'm interested to see what 30 to 40 is going to look like for you guys. This is very exciting.
Yeah. So we used the VA home loan 3 different times. Of course, people are like, you're crazy. You're constantly moving. That was the goal. That was the objective from the very beginning. And we, like I said, we bought new builds so that it could be very low maintenance, right? We were a young couple. We didn't have a lot of funds in the savings account. So we needed to make sure that we're doing strategic movement, right? Things are low cost. If there was anything that's to go wrong, of course, home warranty will cover it, or we will cover it, things that we can fix, and then use the builder's incentives to help us with the closing costs. Like, incentivize these things. Right now, we're buying a property for 189,900. Okay, we're using you as a lender. We're using the builder, and they're offering 5% towards closing costs or rate buy down. So we're doing both, right?
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
just using what is already out there to help us. It's not about reinventing the wheel, not about making it tough. It's about using what's already out there and then making it your own. My path is going to be very different from others, but now I call it um I'm just doing it from the way I did it now up until this point. Now I'm reverse up, not prospecting. I haven't drank my coffee yet,
Reverse
but
engineering.
basically, there we go. We're going to start now selling what we already have. The other 2 major ones, the 2 single family residents are in the, $350,000 range, 500. Then now use that money to buy smaller units, right? Lower maintenance, smaller units, buy them out or pay them out quickly, or, faster, of course, than these major ones. So we reverse us, yes, whatever you said, the name.
But you've also you,
So
you also worked your numbers to know, hey, on these smaller properties, we can cash flow. We're building them in areas where people are constantly going to be moving in, areas around businesses, where
exactly.
people are, moving in, and it's pretty amazing to watch it happen. And you guys are doing a great job, just building investment properties and being examples, and building out your portfolio. Let's talk about the Killeen market and what's going on there specifically. We know we service a lot of people in the Killeen area. Um, we've been in Killeen probably what 3-4 years now, and we have people who are moving. It is interesting. We just closed on a family who's buying their second property in Killeen. They saw a property they wanted to move out of their current property they had bought, which they bought with us, I think, like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And then they just bought another single family residence, it's a little bit larger. They got a great deal, great deal, great
Yes.
deal. And before I get into Killeen, I want to talk about where the opportunity is now. On the buying side, so we're coming to the end of what people call purchase season. Okay, basically April to September, and there's typically less buyers in the market because now people are going back to school. If you didn't buy a house in the summertime, you're moving on. I got my dog. I'm talking with my dog thing in my. Probably should put that down. So if you didn't buy a house in the summertime, now it's less property or less buyers on the market. And those sellers who need to sell, whether they're PCSing, whether they need to move or something like that, there's going to be potentially less offers depending on the area, depending on the house, less offers. So there's opportunity right now if you're a buyer because you're not competing with as much buyers in the non-hot purchasing thing. And we saw that happen with the family we just helped buy, a wonderful couple we just helped buy. They were able to get an amazing deal. So right now at the end of purchase season, it's a good opportunity to start, to buy and get into a home.
Yeah, like I have about 3 listings on the market and 2 other ones coming up next week. And to be honest with you, I've seen an influx of just rotation or at least of consistent buyers scheduling showings, right? Yes, we fell out of escrow twice on one of the properties, and that was no fault to us as a the sellers. However, it's been a good flow. It's been a lot of buyers, and I have another property coming on the same street, and I'm really hoping that same activity occurs there because the property that I have needs some work. It's a beautiful property, open concept, all the things, and closer to the base. However, it needs some work. And even then, the open house had about 3-4 parties come in, a ton of showing up until this point, up until last night at 6:30 p.m. So it's been interesting, to be
Mhm.
honest. It's still a dance, right, on whether how much the seller's willing to give, how much the buyers need, and just being transparent, being honest. But then when I'm representing a buyer, I always say, hey, this is like we walking into something here. We need to like understand what's going on. How many days on market? What type of language are they using on the agent remarks? Me talking to the agent, kind of feel what they need from us. So it's just not just, oh, let me just go see a property. It's understanding the full concept because you're dealing with another party, another family that's moving. So we can still most definitely get you what you need if it's closing costs, if it's rate buy down, if it's pricing. It's just a matter of which property. However, I just feel like the market right now is pretty healthy.
It is a more balanced market. I mean, we went
Mhm.
from, seller's market to buyer's market. Now it's kind of more balance, more of a dance. I think it's where it's a market where both parties can kind of get what they want out of the process, and not be destroyed.
Exactly.
Where a buyer's having to go $30,000 over, and then the selling agents having, or the sellers trying to having to give up everything in order to just get the property moved. I think it's more of a balanced market. What should our military people be thinking about if they're moving into Killeen area, Temple, Belton? What are your thoughts there?
To be honest, my number one question is, what's your mission? What's the goal? Why are you purchasing? How long are you staying? And what's your objective, right? And just kind of like laying out that plan. Because if we go really big and you're trying to rent that out after and you're not gonna be here, it's gonna be a lot of maintenance, right? So let's see if we could get something moderate, something or small. And then also what's important to you, is that a rate buy down? Is that closing costs? What is that, so that we can see if we can get that for you, or is it pricing? I had a client that was like, hey, I'm a single person, I don't have the means, obviously, with someone else. I need to be under, literally it was about 175, under 180. I was like, okay, man, you want something pretty brand new, and we bid with a builder. We bid with a builder. He was still able to pay closing costs. We got a great rate, and we went literally at about, his mortgage is about 1350.
Mm.
1379 at the max once
Wow. Wow.
homestead is settled.
Wow, excellent,
Yeah.
excellent job. So yeah, that's I mean, that's a question. I mean, when we talk to military buyers, we have to. I mean, you guys have to be transparent with us. Like, what's your
Hmm.
goal? Is your goal? Is this the first? Now you're in Texas. There are markets, so you and I still do some work in the Hawaii market. That
Exactly. Yep.
market is like you're going to make your money on appreciation. Okay,
Yes.
you're 9 times out of 10, you're in and out in 3 years. Okay.
Hmm.
It is a typically a take the money and run market. Okay. After 3 years. Now, Texas could be a take the money and run, or sometimes it's a hey, this is going to be a house that I rent out because it's in an area where a military base is. I could rent that place out after 3 or 4 years when I transition. It's going to be part of my portfolio. That's what you have to tell us what the goal is, because we're not going to tell you what your goal should
Hmm.
be. Some people just don't want to be landlords, and that's
Exactly.
fine. Sometimes you just want to be in a place where you can put your BAH to good use if you're an active
Hmm.
duty service member. And then sometimes, it's like, hey, you have that vision of, I want to rent my place out. This is going to be a house that I keep for 10, 15 years, while I move around and do Gallivant all and do military assignments. So Sol and I have both lived that life. So we know how to advise you on that. And the other thing we know how to do is like, tell you when your expectations are kind of unrealistic, because life
Mm.
happens,
Yes.
and we've seen enough of life happen and experienced enough of life in the military to
Yeah.
say, yeah, hey, you're kind of far off here.
Yeah.
I do. Go ahead.
And honestly, like if I may add, like the fact that we both have own properties, we're both in the field, like we're in it with you guys. When it comes to strategizing, we're sharing the tools that we're using ourselves, right? Like oftentimes,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, Major, this is what I'm purchasing. You're an unbiased party. What do you think? Is this a good deal? What do cash flow, things of that nature? This is my idea. You brainstorm and you with people that right? And especially with us, like one of the clients that we just closed, I said, okay, you're trying to rent this property out, then this is a website that I use. I'm going to send you comps. Now use this website against my comps to see how far we are. Are we in the same ballpark? I mastermind with other agents, right? Like, what are you using? How do you manage your own property if you don't want to use a property manager? So there's so many avenues and there's no right way. So it's super exciting to use one another to create your own path.
And we're totally off a topic here, but I love it. So and talking with people who have actually done this, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, all due respect to your uncle, and all this stuff, but I mean, I've had people come to me and tell me, hey, my dad said X, Y, and Z, and all due respect to your father, I mean, or whatever, I'm that is your father. I mean, you should listen to them.
Yeah.
However, if your father has never bought a house and doesn't own any real estate, you have to question, I don't there are some things I don't listen to. My mom is still around, my dad's passed on. There's some things I don't listen to my mom on. It's just I yeah, thanks mom.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for that input. I mean,
Yeah.
I honor her. I don't, not disrespectful, but it's about having people around you who have done it. I often say, a man with experience is never at the mercy of a man with a theory. So
Mm.
it's about having people in your corner and around you who have actually had these conversations and lived this, where you can actually advise, or they can advise you on, hey, this is probably not a good idea. And there have been
Mhm.
people who we have, I mean, honestly, we've had people come to us and who were dating another person, okay,
Mhm.
and they say, hey, we want to buy a house together. And there have been some people who we've said, I probably would reconsider, or somebody who's in the process of getting a divorce and
Yes.
in Texas.
That happens so often.
Yes,
All the time. All
all
the
the
time.
time, at least once or twice a month. I'm
Yeah.
getting a divorce. I want to buy a house. Probably should wait that out. Not going to be a good idea. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this and why you're probably going to see more than other years over the next 2 to 3 months, why you may see some consistent traffic at your listings or as buyers, why you see a more consistent turn rather than in previous years. Usually, you have the spring season, the fall season, price home sales shut down, and then you ramp back up in March, and it's a sine wave. Okay,
Hmm.
if you're in real estate or if you're in mortgages, you take your vacations in December, January, ain't nothing happening either way. So you
Right.
you just go chill out. You just go. Now I think over the next 3 months you might see more consistent traffic because rates are coming down. Okay. And people who have been sitting on the sidelines in the summer or spring, now we're seeing rates trickle down, and they're starting to get back into the market or shop more aggressively because they feel more comfortable about interest rates. Now, it's interesting, always interesting about interest rates because if you're going from a 4% a market, a 4% environment into a 5% environment, people are like, oh man, that's crazy. That's too high. But if you're coming from a 7% into a 5%, people are like,
Yes.
oh, that's a good deal. It's the same freaking 5%. What it's all
It's
perception.
what side you're on.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
perspective. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're probably going to see more activity this fall, and we're starting to see rates come down. Now, I want to advise everyone here, and I've said this consistently, okay, because people start getting excited when the Federal Reserve cuts rates, okay, the federal funds rate, okay, that controls like HELOC rates, credit card rates, the rate at which banks borrow from one another. Okay, that controls that. However, that is not mortgage rates. Okay, mortgage rates are more likely to price in um, what they believe is going to happen. Like right now, rates are coming down and rates are trending downward. Why? Because the market believes that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates in the middle of September, probably in October also. However, it doesn't mean that when the Federal Reserve cuts rates, that mortgage rates are going to drop also. Okay, it's likely if the Federal Reserve doesn't do enough, rates could actually tick up a little bit. Okay, if the Federal Reserve doesn't do enough. So I want to. There are some people who are sitting around like, oh, September 18th is the day, and I'm going to jump into the market. I'm going to get pre-approved September 18th. No, I mean we lock literally. So we locked yesterday. We
Mhm.
locked 10 clients, or 10 VA clients into refinances.
Wow.
10 and shout out to Christy Garcia, my assistant. She was pumping them out. We locked 10 clients in the refinance, people that are saving money on their refinances, people that bought maybe 7, 8 months plus ago, and they're now refinancing because rates are better. And we're saving them $200, $300, $400 on their monthly payment because they're refinancing right now. We had an investor that was doing an incentive. Unfortunately, the incentive expired last night at midnight. So we were working overtime to get it done. But we have to keep in mind that when the Fed says that, hey, we're cutting rates, that doesn't necessarily mean mortgage rates are going down. That's happening right now. That's just why
Mm.
when people have contracts, I recommend, hey, lock now. Don't wait till the 18th because we don't know what the market's going to do on the 18th. If we knew that, we'd spend all our time in Puerto Rico, just like you, sir. As we just be on vacation. So I just
Just
want to
wait.
advise people that, but rates are getting significantly better. I mean, we're seeing VA rates in the high fives, low sixes, depending on your situation there. Even, I had somebody with some challenge credit, and we were able to lock them at about 6.5 on a challenge credit, situation. So that's much better than 7.5, 8%
Yeah.
that you saw previously. So it is a much better interest rated market. Friend, for you realtors out there, you're probably going to start seeing more consistent traffic over the next 2 to 3 months than you probably would have seen in previous years when people said, hey, I'm not going to be out there.
Yeah. Like open houses are definitely like a flow. I love it. And even showings is consistently, and it's conversations, and it's not people being afraid of asking what they need and really coming to the middle ground. Like I am enjoying, like you say, it's a win-win for both parties. I'm feeling in this market right now.
Yeah, but then when you go back to the builder incentives, now keep in mind, and I'll say this openly, okay?
Mhm.
It is very unlikely that a builder is going to beat my rates, okay? And,
Mhm.
and the reason why is very simple. A builder's lender, okay? A builder opens up a mortgage company as a profit center, okay?
Mhm.
The builder is a freaking builder. Okay. They just have this
Right.
thing on the side. Okay. It's kind of
Mhm.
like if you open up a restaurant and it's a barbecue, uh, you might have some apple pie, but you're not known for the apple pie. You go for the barbecue. Okay. So you
Yeah.
go to the builder for the builder, and they just have this builder's lender thing on the side. So, it's very unlikely that, I mean, if you go outside, if you're able to get the incentives transferred over, that's a key point, okay? Because my wife doesn't allow me to go into my savings account and give you 15 grand. Uh, I would do it. I would do it, but my wife,
Yeah.
she's a little
She has
tight.
it locked up.
Yeah. But you have to understand that the builder's lender is not going to be aggressive on their pricing and stuff like that, like you would for an outside source. So I recommend you get an outside source. And sometimes I'll look at a deal and I say, hey, you should probably take that deal. Or sometimes I look at a situation and I said, you know what, you probably should try to get the incentives transferred over because I can do more with that money.
Mhm.
And using those incentives in this market in order to get what you want could be huge. Yesterday, I closed a family and they were able to get the builder's incentives transferred over. Okay. Um, and they did a 3-2-1 buy down. So we
Ooh.
locked their rate at 5.5. They have a 2.5% interest rate for a
Whoa.
year because we were able to get the incentives. And we did a 3-2-1 buy down on an FHA deal. And I'm like, and the title agent signing, and she's like, "Is that freaking 2.5%?" She's like, I haven't seen that in 4 years." So there
Wow.
are incentives or things you can do to get incentives, and I say, hey, try to get the incentives for you realtors out there. Why not try to say? Everybody's like, sometimes people get like smoke and mirrors over this. Oh, they're giving $15,000. Okay, is it a real 15? Okay, or did they roll it into the interest rate so the interest rate's higher so they get 15? You need to have somebody on the outside where you can balance that.
Yes. Yeah. That's what you did with my primary property that I'm living in now, and
Yeah,
we were able to transfer over, and that was perfect.
exactly.
'Cause yeah.
And it was a
So
much better deal than the
mhm.
in-house lender. And people sometimes get distracted by the in-house lender deal. And I'm like, you're not serving anybody if you don't look
Yeah.
to the outside. At least have a conversation. At least like, hey, this is it. So, all right, 27 minutes. I got to get these kids to school. Any closing thoughts? So,
I want you guys to think about the state that we're in. We're in the state of Texas, and yesterday I was doing some research on like why businesses were coming over, and it's due to the incentives, the tax incentives that these businesses are receiving. So it's not gonna stop anytime soon, right? Obviously, people are coming here. They want to business owner want to make money. They get transfer like fees or credits to making these business transfer from California, from New York, from wherever they are to Texas. So just know that, hey, follow the crumbs that these builders are leaving, follow the trends, right? Like see what's going on. Hey, like Taylor wasn't much many years ago. Huddle wasn't anything many years ago. Taylor, Troy, all these places. Look at what's happening, look at the market, ask us for market advice or some like market stats or anything that we can share with you so you can see where the opportunities are. They're there, right? But then they're going to start maybe going south, right? Or maybe expanding west or east. Like we don't know yet. But right now we're seeing right now in the exterior of Austin and Killeen and stuff in Temple that there's opportunities. So yeah, don't be afraid to
yeah,
ask.
I agree. If you could find an investment property around these places, I know Tesla built a
Yeah.
huge plant in Austin, right outside of Austin, right?
And they're expanding like $400 billion right now to
You
expand that.
follow the companies. If you
Yes.
follow the companies and people start building, even here, I live in the Dallas area. Even here, like if you have a property that's near Frisco, Texas, where Universal Studios is going, yeah, you're not. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, 500,000, don't even go looking there. It's like
Yeah.
it's amazing. So follow these. I mean, if you're just starting your investment journey, follow these smaller areas where you can get into something at less than 200,000. Buy an investment property. If you're fortunate enough, maybe you're a remote worker. Maybe you go live in that property for a year or two,
Mm.
move out of that property, make that an investment property. Right about the time that business is ramping up, you're moving on to another property and making that an investment property. So many different strategies. Reach out to me and we can help you, strategize what's that. I always say you overestimate what you can do in 1 year, but you underestimate what you can do in 10 years.
Yes. The
So
beginning of a decade.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, happy birthday to you. So enjoy
Thank
the rest of your birthday,
thank you so much.
and you and Juan enjoy yourselves. Hey, always a pleasure. Make sure you go get yourself some coffee.
I will. And we're going to Isabel. So we're going to go up north today.
Awesome stuff. Enjoy. I will talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
All
guys.
right.
Thank you
Bye
for
bye.
watching.